All right, we're into it. No messing around. Usually Alex is like, hey, is everybody ready? We're good to go. Is everything?
Just fucking let's go.
You just open the chute and get it. Let's go. Let's roll. Welcome to the show, I guess. God.
I guess. I mean,
here we are. Pinder, you're not even done. What do you think?
No, just numbering stuff. We're good.
Numbering
how
much
tease for the Pinder
weed
report.
you're gonna smoke today?
Yeah, man. Rhett, how many people? You're at a rental in Buffalo. You still have your home in Calgary. How many people live in the house?
5.
Got a picture from the shoveler yesterday. Might be an intruder. So I'll watch for that in the Pinder.
Oh,
just
dear.
Numbering things. Yeah.
What is with the shoveler and these like loose lips sink ships? She's just firing out videos and pics.
It's never anything that you
you gotta have a sit
dangerous.
Down. It's boredom. She's got a lot of stress.
She understands it's important to keep people in the loop on.
I got you.
You know, the shoveler family.
So what is the shoveler day to day? Because I mean, you do this and you brag about going to the gym and stuff.
Okay, hang on.
Yep.
What you doing?
Yep.
And then I got this.
Oh, getting your nails did.
Oh yeah, nails.
Those nails look good.
Big day. Big day.
Yeah, that's a big day. Did you go to Phoenix to get that done too, or closer to
nah.
home?
I gotta get my nails done. I'm going to Scottsdale. I'll be back Monday.
Yeah, I'm going to Fort Lauderdale to get pedicure. Here we are. Night number 3 coming up of the Stanley Cup playoffs.
That was last
4.
night. Yeah.
Night 1 rocked.
Fucking boom.
Night 2 no good. I don't.
1, 2, something, 3.
1, 2, skip a few.
Last
3,
night,
4, probably some more.
the shits again.
You know what?
The Islander-Carolina game went to overtime, but it's like
I wanted it to be good, and it was a controversial one, and that series could be so good if it's tied going back to Long Island. You know what I mean?
They've been
No, I
one goal.
just don't care.
Haven't they been 1-goal games? It's been tight. It's been the whole way, but still, it's what more can they possibly do? They've given us an overtime game. There's been controversy and all of that, and I still feel like this is the least attractive series of the bunch.
And I'm telling you that Dallas, Minnesota, it was a blowout last night, but it was fun. 2 goals in 11 seconds from the Wild. That's followed up by 2 goals in less than a minute and a half from Dallas.
1-1.
And Fleury getting aerated, breakaways, physical play.
Yeah, those are the series. It's kind of tough
okay.
but no, it was an offensive outburst last night in Dallas. Old Marc-Andre Fleury mixing a save, 7.
We'll just get Gustafson a night rest and throw in
So why did they go away from Gustafson? Is he exhausted after the 50 save, 51 in game 1?
It's probably not as fresh as a daisy, but I think what they did what they've done all year to get here. They basically alternated for ages coming in to the playoffs. And so they thought, okay, well, it's got us here. It's worked. Dare we try this in the playoffs? They did. Fleury was bad. They're split coming home, and Gustafson theoretically should be feeling good for a game 3. Didn't work. I don't mind the process.
Yeah.
Was he bad? Like
they allowed 3 breakaways to 1 player on the other team. Never mind all the other shit. They weren't good in front of him, but he wasn't great either.
Yeah. Rupe, hat trick, power play, shorthanded, even strength.
No, it says on this board he had 4.
This is the series.
Oh yes, of course.
Right.
These
So
boards,
he scored.
I don't know.
Yeah. I don't like these boards.
Alex, between you and me, throw these in the dumpster.
Yeah, Alex, between us girls, these stink because it looks like, are they still in overtime?
Wow, Dadonov 2?
I can't believe it. That game is tied at 1.
Goals? How'd they get to 10?
Tied at 1. It's got
7-3 was the final.
Yeah. The goals against him 7 even would probably tell you that Marc-Andre didn't have his best night.
No, not ideal. There it is.
And so that's fine. I think the real question will be if they win game 3 with Gustafson or lose, do they come back with Fleury again? Or is it like, we tried it, it didn't work, we're done alternating?
That's interesting. Heiskanen had 4 assists and didn't get any love on the
meanwhile, Tyler Seguin won easily.
Anyway, listen, it's not about whatever. Shut up, Boom. But yeah, it was
stay in your lane, fat boy.
You said before we got in, and this is not breaking news, but that crowd in Dallas, they love that hockey team. They get into it. They get the horn. The goal song is annoying as shit.
In the third,
but they're always on their feet and rip snorting, and go back to your playing days? Have they always been like this? Because it sure seems like they are wound up all the time.
Yeah, what was the finals like there in 99?
It was wound up tight.
Yeah.
It was in the other rink though. The old barn, which is
that's right.
And they also got buying
how could I forget
rubbernecked mulleted children getting punched by grown ass men. Yeah.
But that looked like the Dallas Stars that I think you fear if you're the other teams in the West. Your goaltender is solid and they can explode on you. That Rupe Hintz. I remember when that deal got done, and I guess if you didn't pay a lot of attention to Dallas, or what is, Jesus, a lot of money for Rupe Hintz. This guy's a star. Guy's a hell of a hockey player. Then Jason Robertson comes in, and
are you going to do that again?
Yeah,
start with your cheesy lines.
The puns you didn't like.
Dallas Star, utter.
Yeah.
From yesterday.
Yeah, he's on today. I'll fucking leave. I will.
Well, yeah,
I'll leave right now.
You got one breaking news story on the world's fastest cow, and a guy can't make a pun or two.
Nope. And no Joe Pavelski, but Ben has been, again, it's a couple games, but this is not like a year ago when coming into the Flames series, we were questioning, what is this team? Is it young? Is it old? Because Seguin hasn't been very good and Jamie Benn hasn't been good. Ben's had a great year.
Well, and the goalie established himself as a legit one last year in the first round.
Yeah.
It wasn't supposed to be his year. He was third on the depth chart. They had Hudobin and Holtby were going to be their guys. And then, Hudobin goes to the minors, Holtby's the third. So it's really the coming out party for this team. What changed everything is when Ottinger looked like a fucking one last year in round one, wasn't it?
Why do you?
How funny is it to think that Holtby and Hudobin were going to be your guys? Like, Ottinger's
we're not going home.
That's the thing. And it's a different conversation. But as we sit here and talk about long-term contracts and how long you lock in, that was last year. They didn't know Ottinger. I don't know. Remember St. Louis
prospect?
Binnington. Binnington's what is it? East Coast League, Stanley Cup. It's just things change. Things change so fast because it does. It makes you laugh to think that we're good. We're going to bring in Holtby.
Yep.
And how good was we're not going home for us in the playoff
in the bubble?
Yeah. We're set.
We've got maybe our goaltending the kid will outplay Hudobin, but it's clearly Holtby's crease. You brought him in as a free agent.
Seguin had 21 goals this year. Jamie Benn, 33 goals, 78 points.
Jeez.
And it looked there again. Man. It looked like they were kind of off to pasture, and you were going to start to bring in the younger guys.
Well, and both are there still.
Decent. 46 goals for Robertson. And Hintz, 37 goals, 75 points in 73 games.
Gurianov, who only scored against the Flames, apparently, because he didn't score any goals.
Every
time he played the Flames, he scored the goals, so we thought he was amazing. He got swapped out for Dadonov, who's been a nice add to that mix.
Had two last night.
Daddy.
Yeah. Don't.
And in overtime, he hit the shaft of the goaltender's stick above the blocker that could have won it. So that's how close Dallas is to a 2-0 series lead.
That's right.
Daddy.
Game 3. You're going to go to Minnesota. You're going to go to St. Paul, where, as
buckle up,
we have learned, St. Paul, crazy town. Crazy.
Lucid dreams.
Yeah. And all those maniacs in St. Paul into the building. Look
that
out.
part will be jumping too. That's
what happened to Boston last night?
Bad period. That's it. Did you see the box score?
Illness. I think the illness got them. The tummy bug took them down.
Yeah. Tummy. Sour stomach.
Bad bellies.
They needed the sway dog. They didn't go to the sway dog.
Bad bellies. Leanness. Come on, man.
Yeah.
On leanness. It's good for the series, though.
That's a good board. We can keep these, Alex.
Yeah, I like those.
Please actually tell us what the fuck happened.
Did they give up? That was the first time they gave up 6 all year. Is that true?
Sounds about right. I don't.
Those the pundits that cover the Bruins say worst game of the year.
Oh, you got to get those out of the way in the first round. Let's go.
Well, that's a bad sign.
Our boy,
I don't like it.
Sam Bennett, gets back in, hasn't played since March 20th. A goal, +2, 7 shots.
Jeez.
And yes,
Sam Bennett.
A text from Greg Keller of Bonton Meats.
Come on. That is so beautiful.
It's like the least surprising thing.
I'll tell you, I'm sitting at home, and it doesn't matter, but I'm watching the game, and for whatever reason, I have a very I don't want to mention the company, but the company I'm using for my television is quite a bit. It feels like it's at least 30 seconds behind real time.
Bunch of cork soakers.
So I'm friggin' watching the game and oh, Benny, in comes the Greg Keller text. I'm like, is he going to score? Bwang, scores. So the first thing Greg did is grab his phone and text me
before it even happened.
Benny.
Yeah.
Just to let me know.
So it's 2-2 through 40, Rhett. Florida scores 22 seconds into the third. Then at the 7-minute mark, 12:30 mark, 17:35 into an empty net, and one more late from Boston when it was too little too late.
I was watching. My kid's a big Panthers fan. Then it got rough.
I thought you had a Bruins fan. You had a Bruins fan, didn't you?
He's got 3
it's
kids.
The same kid. He switched alliances from.
He's like, where does he get that?
It's weird. Can't imagine.
Yeah, it's weird. He's a Red Sox and a Yankees fan, but also likes the Blue Jays.
Yesterday, I was really into the Yankees, but I'm feeling these Red Sox today. But that's it. Again, if you don't really care, and I don't, I just let's go. Perfect for the series.
Yep.
Right? Because if the Panthers play well and still lose somehow, it's in their friggin' heads. The Bruins are just that good. Best regular season ever. How are we ever going to beat these guys? They flexed last night on the Bruins.
And now, not only do the Bruins look like mortals and not gods, there's some, I guess, questions about Patrice Bergeron, who didn't play a lot the last few weeks of the year, came back for a meaningless game 82 against Montreal, I believe, left that game with injury, and they're saying it's not illness with him anymore. So how hurt is Bergeron? What does he have to play through? And, you know, the Bruins are obviously very good without him. It's not like they lost all those games without him, but you certainly would want your Selke, you know, future Hall of Famer centerman.
Leader.
All that.
I saw a stat. They were 8-0 without him in the playoffs or something ridiculous.
Bergeron?
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. And just a swath of misconducts handed out at the end.
It got good. I got some video for you later.
Radko Gudas.
And there's a bunch of former Flames in there.
I know.
We got the Lamborghini. We got the Jackie Bear. There's some
Sugar.
Yeah. Sugar too. There? That's right. Oh, poor Trelivan's watching. He's like, these are the bastards I thought I'd have in a playoff series. What the hell happened?
This is what I was trying to put together. And the Oilers blow another 2-goal lead, but hang on to win.
Again, good for the series. Although
good for the series.
I do think forcing the Oilers down 2 wouldn't have meant it was over, just with all that firepower and, you know, the whole greatest player that ever played thing.
Well, and again, I figured he would explode last night. He didn't. Draisaitl has been the best player
again
by a wide margin.
And I suppose if you're the LA Kings, all of your attention is like you watch McDavid driving the zone. There's 3 bodies around him. It's like guys around him might do stuff, but we are not letting this guy beat us. But you can't do that to 2 guys.
He's one of those guys, Rhett. It looks like it should be easier to stop him, Draisaitl. I get that he's big, but he doesn't look like he's moving overly fast, and that, you know what I mean. And he's a monster. You can't stop him, obviously, right?
I understand what you're saying, but I disagree. I'm shit scared of him. I'm glad I don't have to play against him.
He's huge. And even on the empty netter, he like zips a backhand pass through someone's legs to find Kane, and you're like, mother, this guy.
Best passer in the league.
It's insane.
Yeah. Best passer in the league. I've said this story. I remember being at the draft, and it felt like such a random kind of a weird. This guy, his backhand pass. He's one of the best backhand passers I've ever seen in his age. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah,
and then it's like, oh yeah, he really can dish that thing
with that canoe paddle of a stick.
Yeah,
which they talked about on the broadcast again.
And you remember last year how gimped up he was. He had a bad leg. Regular season probably wouldn't have been playing. And now he feels good.
Yeah, it was somewhere in round 1 against the Kings, I believe.
Against the Kings, he got
banged
hurt.
up. But against the Flames, there was a lot of talk about how healthy's Leon.
Yeah. So there you go. That's the scoop.
Can these guys leave already? I'm sick and tired of Edmonton being competitive here. Wait, we had 2 years left on Leon after this. Let's go.
I thought it was great when the Kings tied it. I thought, yes, here we go.
Third 2-goal lead blown.
And then just a shit burger on Korpisalo.
Not good.
Yes. What are you doing? Come on.
Damn it. We're here in the Tower Chrysler studios. Tower Chrysler, of course, is the Consumer Choice Award winner. Calgary, I'm going to say Southern Alberta.
Yeah,
I'm going to throw that in there. Unofficially.
I'll put them up head-to-head with anyone. I'll tell you that right now.
Unofficially, Southern Alberta's favorite Chrysler Dodge Ram dealer.
Any Dodge Chrysler Ram dealers want to step up?
You want to step up?
I got Towers back.
Take Surge on.
Did you get that vehicle back, Rhett? I was a little concerned that, I don't know. It's like,
no,
we insured. What's happening over there?
It's returned.
You have a history of accepting things and not necessarily always giving them back. I just wondered if there was a nice Dodge Ram just quietly hiding in your garage.
Yeah, like that. We did get that back to its rightful owner.
It was delivered, washed, full of gas, looking sharp.
Wow.
A few miles on it, but that's okay.
Where did you go? You've brought this up numerous times about how many kilometers you put on the truck. You were you're here for what, 10 days?
Well, Durr lives out near Pritis, so I go out there a couple times. And my nephew was playing in Strathmore, so I went out there a couple times. My kid went to that Edge skates one weekend, so I had to go there a couple. It was like, felt a little sheepish. Sorry, Serge. Sorry, buddy.
It's fucking oil change, dude. The guy only boarded for 10 days.
That's right. He's got more clicks on it than your truck. You've had it since November.
8 blocks a day here.
Speaking of delivered, I got some photos of what got delivered to Tower the other day.
Oh, you were telling me about this. You like horsepower, Rhett?
Now there's the Dodge Challenger, the Demon 170. There are 3,000 of them being made
on Earth. That's it.
300 coming to Canada.
That's it.
Tower is getting one. And that's coming up later this year. This is the Challenger. It's the like SRT. It's the jailbreak. This one it's got the big Hemi in it, the Hellcat, 800 and some horse.
Jeez.
This thing will blow your hair back. And to me, it's one of the best. It's one of the best recreations. I like what they've done with the Ford Bronco, taken the old style and tried to recreate it. Some of them I don't look at. I think what they've done with the Challenger is awesome. I love the old Challengers back in the 70s and this one. And it's already been spoken for. Like, it was ordered in.
Yeah. Yeah, he's going to leave it in my garage, so it's going to be fun when I get back there in a couple of weeks. Looking forward to it. Thanks, Serge.
And that's good. See, it's got the wide body thing. See the fender flares, big fat tires. Big.
Yeah. So
that thing's awesome.
You meant there's two things you mentioned there. What was it? The Hellcat and then the jailbreak. This is the jailbreak.
The jailbreak is essentially kind of the badging. It's the model.
Okay.
There's different tiers and entry points on the now you can get a Challenger that doesn't have the Hellcat. It's just got the Hemi, which is still
I see what you're saying.
Tremendous.
So how many of these are there around it? This has to be ordered in, and I guess you were getting to it, but like if someone wanted to set their eyes on this thing,
you can special order, but I know that sadly, I think Mopar and Dodge are doing away with all of it. The big horsepower that is sought after is kind of going away again.
All more reason to get yourself one now before
there's
they're
the
gone.
Jailbreak, yeah. Wow. But I just think if there's a someday that's gonna be someday, right? This thing's gonna turn out, right? This podcast thing we're doing. I have always wanted to order a new vehicle and have be there for the delivery.
You're romantic, eh?
Love it.
Yeah.
They have the GM plant in the States somewhere. If you can go down, if you order and you get a brand new Corvette, you can go down there. They roll out your new car, the whole thing. It's a big kind of a ceremony and all that sort of thing.
Sing the anthem.
It's not the same as going to Tower and having Serge strut around and say, "Hey, here's your Hellcat," but it's close. So that's what's going on at Tower. I can't wait for that 170 to get in.
You're gonna.
So this one is spoken for, and so too is that one.
Yeah,
those are big time popular.
Yeah, that's right. Rhettster and the Shoveler are looking forward to cruising this summer.
I remember Rhettster was looking at classic cars at one time.
Wasn't there a truck that you saw at an auction that you told Rhett to buy and he didn't, and you saw it go at an auction a year later for like double the price or something?
Yeah, it was. It was at
Rhettster owned a '69 Dodge Coronet. What are you talking about? I had a old beauty.
Was that the one you could start with your with your finger?
No, that was my first car. That was a Honda Civic or Accord. Was it Accord? Little hatchback thing. Yeah.
You
my
said
buddies
Accord
would
the other day.
steal it.
Yeah.
I think it was.
So you just literally did. How do you started it with a finger? Like the key
Usually
you
they'd
pull
use a
was-
pencil of some sort or something, but I'm pretty sure you could have started it with your finger. Yeah.
you just apply some pressure in the right spot, and away she
Mhm.
went.
Off you
Wow.
go. Where'd you guys go? Ah, we went to McDonald's to get some food. Oh, I've only been here an hour. Thanks, fellas. Bastards. Wilma.
The jailbreak takes the SRT Superstock engine. It's the red eye, the 6.2 liter supercharged V8, and then they give it a little bit more juice to 807 horse.
Just aim.
My God,
That's nothing per.
I think with the, I'm pretty confident that the Hellcat or like this one, it comes with 2 keys. One's red,
Mhm.
and then there's the other key. That if you really want to unlock all the horsepower, you need the special key. So if
Oh,
you're
really?
letting somebody else, I gotta go get some milk at the Super K. All right, here, take the black key. You don't get the
you
red
don't get
key.
the red.
Yeah.
Dad, I got a date coming up. No red key.
No,
No,
I mean, you're not driving that anyway.
probably
But
not.
yeah, you get the idea. How was your day yesterday, Retro?
Busy day.
Yeah.
Couple hockey sessions. Started some flag football.
Oh yeah.
We're busy.
Doing some
running
wind sprints
around.
out there.
Yeah.
You're wearing the same shirt as yesterday. Or am I having like a seizure right now?
I don't know, but
two
I
days-
wore it to the
2 days in a
gym
row.
2 days in a row, so I might be wearing the same shirt.
I gotta buys them in bulk.
No, that's true. Sorry, I interrupted you there. I was just blown away. Just
Yeah.
hit me.
You guys got some nice jerseys on yourself. It's not the one you had on yesterday,
Well,
is it, Dean?
This is not the one I had on yesterday. This is what Ryan was wearing yesterday.
I was
Not this
modeling,
one.
yeah.
I have my own as well.
At a modeling gig.
Guys
yesterday.
sharing?
The FlamesNation.
Yes,
no,
we're
it's
the same size.
we these were on sale, the barn burner hoodies at the inaugural draft, playoff draft the other night.
Limited edition.
Very limited edition, and like hotcakes they were. Like hotcakes.
Mrs. Wolverine was handling the cash,
Yeah.
getting things done, zipping people through the line.
Funny, she left town right after. Did you see that?
Hmm.
Haven't seen her since. Hey, good to see you, Jazz. How's it going? Yeah. She
Why'd
tail
she
lights.
screech out of here?
Yeah. She had the red key. Fucking right out of here. But these they're going to be on sale. They're on
Let's do it.
sale.
Yeah, why not?
Nationgear.ca. Now, when you go to nationgear.ca, because all the Nation network and it's going to be a lot of Oilers there on that front page. So just kind of
Yeah.
hide your eyes, go to the Flames Nation drop down,
Yep.
and you're going to be able to find these there.
Yeah, there's gonna be like Clem Costin for mayor, all kinds of nonsense. Just skip past that, get right to the barn burner gear.
Yeah. And some tees as well. T-shirts, the red T-shirts, red hoodies, and some stuff may just go up there because we are slowly but surely. There's Ryan from yesterday.
modeling, yeah.
Nice, very nice.
Now, what
And you
are
know
the
what?
t-shirts though?
And there's
Oh!
Retro in the barn burner T-shirt.
He's about to spit. That's rude. He's loading one up there.
Now, see, I knew all these photos were in the drive, and the first one said Pinder hoodie, and Jack labeled this one as fat fuck.
Oh,
P-
jeez. Come on, he's leaning back. That's an arched back, Jack.
We didn't
I
have
got a big sway.
He's flexing out a bit. That's all right. He had that social anxiety. He's a few drinks in there.
It's a great shot. I love the tumbler, which is it looks like you need a refill,
Yeah,
which is
you're ready.
about right.
You're ready. The other hand I'd like to see. There might be one there too.
Yeah, but I like it. You kind of got you are sharing some knowledge right there. Let me tell you something about something.
junior.
I tell you, I had a Honda Accord. You can start it with your toe.
That's the gear.
That's
available.
the gear. And a lot of people have been asking about hats. We're going to get more hats and stuff made. But
People
right
like the
now,
hats.
look for it today. Nationgear.ca. Go to the Flames Nation drop down. You'll find some stuff there. There you have it. But I was asking, now, what did you do with your day? I had a
What did I
whopper
do
of a
with my
headache.
day?
I just had to go home and shut the mill for a little bit.
Yeah, I've been able to shut the mill much this year. It's too bad. I pick up the kids every day at 2:40, and then it's
Yeah.
just we need an activity. We got to do something. I built a hockey net in the backyard. So we had a hockey net that's been sitting in the garage waiting for things to be ready. So now I just need to lay down some plywood behind it and some plexiglass for the boys to shoot off of.
You're one of those
Net's
crazy
not in yet.
hockey nets now. Year round,
Yeah.
Got them shooting year round, 100 shots a day.
Baseball it starts next week. We're excited about that. So lots of playing catch too.
Baseball, right? No, we're playing everything.
Play it all. It's better than dealing with criminals. Get them in activities.
Yeah, it's good to. If you're listening, do get your kids involved in activities outside the house. And I highly suggest team sports.
Team sports,
because people are having a hard time figuring out how to be around each other. I think it would be good for the kids if we could reestablish this society type of thing that we used to have.
Is that what's happening?
Like Rhett was saying, you don't need school anymore. The chat GPT or whatever is going to do all your homework. So screw school, but you need team sports because we still need social skills and we need to understand how to, do this.
Yeah. Have you seen some of this stuff? Because it's coming out almost daily.
And there's music now.
Music, the Drake and the Weekend one came out. Did you see the Joe Rogan one?
I'm telling. Be scared, folks. Be scared.
I, for one, am here to bow immediately to our robot overlords and can't wait.
Should we feast on the goo inside? Yes, I do, Kent. But yeah, the technology's bananas. This AI stuff, it is crazy.
So I don't know if you heard the music one. You obviously caught wind of it.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's real and what isn't. This is the era we live in now. And with AI, it's like even harder to know what's real and what isn't. Never mind what we could do with Photoshop. But allegedly, a streamer, which is someone that will like go find music and maybe grab a release before it happens, had AI create a Drake and Weekend remix, sort of like a collab. And the song sounds like a top 40 banger that should be netting those two millions and millions of dollars. The problem is that they aren't, because it just sounds like them somehow through AI. It's been created. And the music industry lawyers, who have probably been in their hyperbaric chambers since Napster, have come out a-swinging. Take that down. This is fraud. It's like, what are you talking about? This is just,
who you charging?
Singer and I like Drake. That's not fraud.
Yeah.
Like, get ready. Wild.
You're worried, hey, Retro?
Oh yeah.
I listen to a lot of podcasts, and there's plenty of concern out there from people that are extremely smart.
Yeah, I don't trust the people that are in charge of how this, like the people that are starting these AI companies, like these massive tech companies, haven't really been the leaders in ethical behavior.
I read you, and it's an old quote, a George Carlin quote that I saw online today, and I think I could throw it out right now. It's kind of applicable. Think of how dumb the average person is, and then think that half of everybody else is dumber than that.
It's very Carlin.
It's like, because the average person, dumb, and then half of everyone else, dumber still.
So you're telling me like half the planet's dumber than that idiot?
What hope do we have? And I put myself in probably that bottom half.
I put you in the top half, Dean.
Thanks, Ryan.
I mean, just barely, but yeah.
I'm just happy to be there. It's like the playoffs. Just got to get in.
That's right. Just need a dance.
Ship in a chair. Just get me in there. I'll take it. I put together a little something. It was an interesting day yesterday. It felt like the temperatures were high. There were some people upset, flying off the handle.
Was it a full moon? What was going on?
I don't know, but it felt like it was one of those days where everyone was just kind of having a bad day. Lots of swearing. We've seen there was a couple of instances on planes and airports where people are short-tempered and flipping out. It's not ideal.
I'm checking in on the full moon because you notice that sometimes, like you were talking about Rhett, the day after daylight savings, accidents, like bad things happening. And there's other times where it's like, it's just like, why is everything weird? Like I couldn't sleep. You can sleep. I couldn't sleep.
I know.
Something's out there.
At the start of this video, if you watched, and we didn't really get into it, but the Carolina-New York Islander game last night, Teuvo Teravainen takes a slash on the wrist. Brindamore tells everybody post-game, it's broken. He's going to have surgery. He's out. So he was sour. Lane Lambert, the head coach of the Islanders. Mayfield gets high stuck by Jordan Martinook.
Right before the game.
Right before the game-winning goal in overtime gets in. So the Islanders, they're sour. Carolina Hurricanes, you're sour. So
both teams,
you know what they say when both teams are pissed, you know that the refs have done a bad job. So we can get into this now. This is if you were having a bad day, this might give you an idea.
We're along.
Remember,
and Max is always animated, whether it's this or talking and hitting around the cage or whatever it is.
He's like, it's resin. It's resin. It's sweat and resin. He's just saying this over and over again to the umpire. Because you can't have the sticky shit in your hands anymore. He's like, no way, Paul. So Scherzer,
kidding me.
Scherzer's having a bad day. Here's Lane Lambert.
It's never Mayfield right before the goal. Is that bothersome that they potentially missed a call right before the goal?
Yeah. 425 marker. He broke his hand with the puck, takes a shot. The guy absolutely tomahawk chops him. Absolutely. And I know we had all the power play, so you're not going to make it a 5-on-3. Go take a look at the video. And he's out for the series. So there you go. And they're going to complain about all the power plays, but the tomahawk chop, we just watched it. He has to have surgery tomorrow. There you go. So I'm a little pissed, I'll be honest with you.
The athletic therapist going back to the Florida bench.
Oops.
Oh boy. Yeah, well, they're not happy.
No, apparently they're not. Why don't you moderate, Ray? You're kind of a diplomat. Maybe you could be a statesman, step in there and try to.
Actually, when I was playing, I was doing that, but from the safety of my bench.
Oh wow. Aledmys Diaz has been called out. Oh boy, here we go.
No, he's fucking hurt. Well, why does he have to tell you? He's fucking standing here with his thumb. He's fucking.
So the pitch timer got Aledmys Diaz.
He's fucking hurt. That's bullshit.
Diaz, he's not moving. Marcotte is really probably as animated as we've seen him. And Adam Hammery throws him out, and now Marcotte is going to get his piece here, which would have been right into that pitch. Oh man.
Open in there at 97. It's 3-0. And now we're going to get an ejection. Bell out there not happy with what's gone on, and what you have here is a pitcher who hasn't been out there for quite some time, and a manager who's upset and trying to put a little fire into this situation.
All over the place.
Wants that one back.
This is Madison Bumgarner.
He's not
for whatever
getting
reason he
much.
doesn't like. He's like,
A little back and forth right there.
Oh, fuck you.
Bumgarner doesn't like the
not your
big
words.
swing, and Contreras.
He's a red ass. So.
And a big bat flip
When
for
he
a
walks,
leadoff walk.
Big bat flip.
Huge bat flip for a walk.
And long look down toward Contreras.
And the 3-2. Check swing. Did he go? Yes, he did. Trout down on strikes. A big strikeout.
That doesn't usually make a scene.
No runs, no
Doesn't
hits,
need to.
no errors, and 2 men left on base. Phil Nevin does not like the call, and he is making it known, and he's been thrown out of the game by the first base
Yes.
umpire, Will Little.
All of this
And he's gonna get
was
his money's
yesterday.
worth.
I love it. Yesterday.
And now he's thrown out again by the home
I like
plate
that one. He's already been
said,
thrown out by the
"I got
first
thrown
base.
out."
Then the home plate umpire, you're fucking out. Yeah, you can't toss me because he already tossed me.
They can't
So
toss me
shut it
twice. I'm coming to get some.
There you go.
What a day.
So I don't know. It's I just hope everybody's doing T's and P's to everybody. Hope
Is it
everybody's
the
all right.
umps? Were the umps having a bad day? Because there was a lot of
I don't
umps
know.
involved.
Yeah, maybe.
This is the thing with robot
AI.
umpires. I'm ready for our benevolent robot dictators.
That's right.
But we're gonna miss the tosses, so you got to keep an ump to call safer out at home, just so that there's someone to yell at, and that we can still get manager ump interactions, which is the greatest thing. I mean, I've never seen a cycle. I've never seen a no hitter. I do love me a good manager getting tossed.
it's like one of those things. You go to a game, you never know what you're going to see. You see some runs and hits, maybe a home run.
Sure.
But man, when you get, as soon as he comes out, here we go. Come on. Come on. Oh, it's the best.
And it doesn't matter which manager. If it's the visitor, it's like, and if it's the home guy, it's like, bleep you, blue.
But it's so good because it's early season, and some of these ballparks have hardly any fans in it.
Yeah.
So you hear all the audio.
It is
clear as day. Like that Mark Kotze, he's fucking hurt. Doesn't have to fucking tell.
He's fucking hurt.
Somewhere there's a producer in a truck just like, oh my God. Oh, take the audio down. Which audio? No, the other one. Oh my God.
I like the Bruins Panthers ones. It's like they went right in there to Ferraro, and it's like, what were you expecting to hear? Like,
yeah,
they're screaming at each other. Ice cream? Yeah, vanilla. Sure, that's great.
Yeah, you stinker! You stuck me right in the back of my knee. That stung.
Golly gee,
you son of a gun! And Ferraro, again, perfect. Yeah, I was doing that. Do you think?
The total rat. Loved him.
Yeah, Ferraro could lob him with the best of them. Hearing, and in case maybe you did hear that, maybe you couldn't. We certainly could. Hearing Loss Clinic, hearingloss.ca.
Sound
is the
up
website. That's
good.
right. Sound up. Men and women of all ages, of course, children. Everyone can suffer from hearing loss. It has been it's been proven now. Serious health risks can be linked to untreated hearing loss. It just makes sense to go in and get it checked out. See what the situation is. 4 Calgary locations, obviously to make things convenient for you. If you feel you're having issues, come in for a evaluation. You can book it. You can find out more info on their website, hearingloss.ca. I was in touch. I was in communication with Travis Rhodes, who is
Rhodesy.
He's very busy. I would. It feels like he's jet setting.
Really?
Like it's probably some work involved. Oh, I've got some a conference. There's gonna have a work thing with the.
Don't know about that.
What are you in Swift Current? No, you're in a nice spot. Anyway,
conference in Boca Raton.
It's not about Rhodesy. It's about you and your hearing loss clinic. Do go and get that set up. We're in the short. I'm getting it all figured out.
It's coming up here.
Now that there's no Flames playoffs or anything to. Got some free time.
It's a little quiet these days in Flames land after a hectic Friday and Monday. Because yesterday was the alleged sit down between Don Maloney and Daryl Sutter.
I don't think it's quiet behind closed doors.
I wouldn't suggest it is either.
Yeah, I think there's a lot happening behind closed doors.
They also had to unpack that press conference, which wasn't the smoothest I've ever watched.
Rhett, did you watch the John Bean?
No.
You couldn't because of technical difficulties, or just you couldn't stand it?
I wasn't going to waste 30 minutes of my day, I guess, is what I was getting at.
Yeah.
The Cole's notes probably got you what you needed there.
Yeah.
It was a little bit cringy.
So and we've talked about it a little bit over the last few weeks. The voice for the franchise was Ken King for a long time. And then, Brian Burke obviously was in that role. And since Berkey's left, there really hasn't been anyone.
It's been Tree, really.
Yeah.
And so when he's a lame duck, it's like, well, so now who is the voice and face of the franchise on Hockey Matters? Like, if you want to talk business, like, sure, John Bean, but like, he's never been front facing the media talking about hockey.
So is it Don Maloney now?
Absolutely. He's Poho. He's got Brian's old job.
What?
Okay.
Poho?
President of Hockey Ops.
Okay.
So
okay,
it's easier, right?
Yeah.
Abbreviations. We're going to use all the saved time at the end of our life, and we'll go golfing together. All the time we save using abbreviations.
I'm going to read you something. I'm going to have to get my goggles on, but I am going to read you
Please
something.
full screen on this.
Yeah. No, don't. I'm not ready for it, so don't bother.
Okay.
I said it after the show yesterday. I'm not looking to make anybody look bad, but the press conference to announce that Brad was not coming back.
And Don, unveiled.
It wasn't a good one.
No.
Not that you expect, hey, we missed the playoffs. Things look to be in somewhat of turmoil. Hey, let's throw some zingers out and have a ball. but it's been a couple of days now, and you talk to more people. It's like, how about the press conference? It wasn't really confidence building for anyone.
There wasn't a lot of like, hey, we've done some soul searching and here are some of the issues we have to own. It was a lot of, what are you guys talking about? A year ago, you loved us. And it's like, well, that might not be the best tact here when, there's a long established track record of mediocrity.
Well, how far back can you go? Like, can you go back like really far? Like 89? Because we loved you then.
Yeah, sure could.
89 was a great year. A lot of fun. What a cup, I think. Or is that too far back?
Well, so I don't know. If you're trying to tie things to the org and say these people have these results, I would love to know when Murray Edwards became the majority owner. And I don't know that that is something you could necessarily find out. Maybe it is. But, the ownership group has changed. Clearly, management's been a lot of change. They've had a million coaches. Like, there'll be 19 if you include Darryl twice. How many setters haven't coached this team? Like, it's been a lot of change everywhere. But if you wanted to say, okay, you own this thing, you own more than half, you're the leader, this is what you're tied to, I think that's a really large sample that says you could revisit your practices and maybe try to tighten them up.
Does this feel like the first time that we're hearing more of a groundswell of that? Because in the past, I just think it's been, he's fired. Okay, good. Get the new guy in, whatever. The new coach is okay. Well, let's see how this goes. I feel like, and Rhett, you've been here. I feel like for the first time in a long time, fans, media, just people I'm talking to, there is that sense of it's time to change the way this team does business. The way things are has not worked. You mentioned it. One horseshoe up your wahoo run in 04.
Kipper.
And outside of that, you're in, you're out, you're in, you're out. You've never been considered a cup favorite. It's a weird time. I'm an old fart and I've been here a while, but I just feel like this is the first time, which is not to say it's like sell the team. I don't think it's that. No. I just think the overriding philosophy of how ownership conducts business with the hockey team, I think people are starting to look at it, and because the evidence is around the league.
I think it's been a conversation in circles that were a lot tighter and closer to the team. But I've never felt like this conversation's been so mainstream and public, and that every fan seems to be saying, here's my issue with this owner. And you're like, oh, okay. Well, that used to be sort of people that worked for the organization, and you really got to see how people were treated. Like, oh, I'm on another 1-year deal and my family doesn't know if we have a job in a month again. Like that's really, really close to it. But the common fan's now talking about this owner might be a part of the issue here. It's a considerable part.
Mm-hmm. Well, and it's like you said, Pinder, when did he take over as majority owner? I'm sure he had influence before, but now there's a track record. Whenever that was, it's been long enough, whether it's shorter than we think or longer than we think, it's been quite a while. And now there's a pretty good track record to show that maybe the approach doesn't work. And the only caveat to that is no one expected last summer.
Yeah.
No one expected last summer. We didn't expect to lose all those guys. Right?
Gut punch.
So that totally derails things. Whether that makes it more clear that how they were doing things was wrong, or it puts them in a bad spot, you have to think about, there was a bit of a rebuild, and they didn't use the word. And again, like I said, John Bean, don't use the effing word. You don't have to use rebuild, retool. Like, there's lots of ways around doing this. Hey, we're going to get some youth. Don't call it a rebuild. But
retool. Yeah, you tweak.
They kind of had to do it because they weren't very good from 2010 to 16.
Well, before that, it was 96 until you arrived in 04.
Right.
They didn't make the playoffs for 7 years.
So I think maybe we're first of all, you're right. There hasn't been as much talk about this in the general public as there is today. And that's because we do a podcast now and we say more than we used to. But it did get derailed, and I think they did have a bit of a plan. I think Treliving did put together a decent game plan with the Bennett, Monahan, Tkachuk. You had Gaudreau come in. Those are pretty integral pieces for quite a few years. And if they were able to stay healthy or pan out or blah, 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 you might be in a different situation. But they haven't. And I think what people see this year is that you went out and got Huberdeau, and you signed an old Kadri, and you've signed an old Brouwer, and you've signed you traded for an old Lucic because you signed an old Neal, and there's too many of those. Hey, let's get an old guy and pay him big bucks.
And it might suck at the end. But get in this year.
Instead of getting a Pelche and saying, "Oh, yeah, maybe Pelche." I'm just using Pelche because he's fresh in my minds. But maybe Pelche or someone like him would have scored 5 less fucking goals than Neal. But he's 21 and cheap as chips. They've never had that approach, right? And part of that goes back to the owner, because the owner, again, I'm trying to speak for him. I don't know his mind, but I'm trying to imagine what he's thinking. I know what Neal is. Let's just pay him. I'm not afraid of paying to the cap. Just pay to the cap. I know what Neal is. I don't know what that kid is. He might get 7 goals, and we might be screwed and not make the playoffs because of it. Give me the guy I know. I'll overpay a little bit. That's okay. Just get us to the playoffs. It has to end at some point. And this year is a good year to do it. There's always going to be talented. There's always going to be talented teams out there, but having McDavid 3 hours north should make you hit pause. Well, not pause as in you're never going to time out that your franchise is in a good spot, but I'm probably not making any sense. But McDavid's there. How the fuck are you going to get from where you are to beating the Oilers team in a McDavid-Draisaitl combination? Take the next couple of years. Maybe some of those things change. Maybe they get a little bit older, and you're coming through as the next wave of a high-end talented team. And set it up. We criticize the Oilers because they haven't won much, and the Leafs, but those teams are making the playoffs, and even though the Leafs haven't advanced through the first round, they're a team that if they did get through the first round, you would not be surprised to see go to the finals. Same with the Oilers. I mean, they lose to Colorado in the same. My point is, make a team that you're going confidently for a 5 to 7 year period where, there's no question they're making the playoffs. And not only are they making the playoffs, we will judge them on their playoff success. That's, Toronto's been criticized because they haven't had playoff success, but that's what they're being judged on. Fuck, we can't even judge our team after Christmas because they're so out of it half the time. Give us a group of guys you believe in that can stay there together, grow, learn to win together, and give us a nice long window of success.
You're talking about a long-term plan. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Instead of this very, very short focus, long-term plan. And you said it all year.
Well, it happens around the league. They'll put together, like you say, let's find that group of players, and they had it here. Bennett, Monahan, Gaudreau, Tkachuk comes in. There's some guys in the back end, obviously. And then you can understand, you may not agree with it, but you can understand, they're all young, so let's try and insulate them a little bit. Let's bring in some veteran presence with a Brouwer. Again, it's hard to defend that one looking back. I like Troy, good guy, but good. James Neal, what we need, we've never had a right wing, scoring right winger. Here's a guy, he's going to come to Calgary, we'll pay him. Okay, didn't work out. Where they're at right now, that whole nucleus of young guys, they're all gone.
Yeah, they're not a young team. They got old real quick last summer.
So yeah, it feels like, and it's so easy for us, but it does feel like it's staring you right in the face. let's try again. It happens to a lot of teams. You build a core of young guys, you ride them, try your best. If it doesn't, then you move on and you try it again. They have to be at a spot right now where the cupboard feels more or less empty. But you have Wolf, you have Pelche, you have Corna. You at least, you can kind of squint and see, all right. We're not talking about starting today and bringing in we need some draft picks. We have nothing. Little thin on the back end, but okay.
But you're not old on the back end.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, just
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying as far as. Yeah.
It may not be as bleak as you think because you do have some years without knowing it. If you want to call it a rebuild or a retool, you're a few years into it if you want to look at it that way.
If you wanted to sell high on someone like Chris Tanev and Tyler Toffoli, who are going to want one more deal in their careers, and because if you're signing those guys, you're getting older. Like Toffoli said in his exit meetings, he likes Daryl. He'd love to be here. He wants to talk contract. That doesn't make you younger. And he's a really good player. And he's coming off a career high. This summer is maybe the best time ever to sell a Tyler Toffoli. He's way below market value. The cap's incredibly tight. How many guys how many GMs around the league could say, I can have a 30 goal guy for 4.25? That's how you get younger quick. You turn him into a first at the draft in June. And now it's like you add that guy to this group. You already have your own first, which is going to be 16th overall. And it's like, this doesn't have to be like an 8-year walk through the desert, and you don't have to suck to retool a little. It's just about thinking about these assets more than just this year. Can we get in? I need this guy to get in. Think about in 2 and 3 and 4 years. Do you want to add an aging Tyler Toffoli and an aging, in theory, Chris Tanev to a group that already has Kadri at 34 or 5, Huberdeau at 32, 33, Mackenzie Weegar mid-30s. Like you're married to a few guys that are going to be old. Don't collect more of these guys.
The Toffoli deal, and I'm just kind of curious, you think you get a first. Is that now or in season before deadline?
Well, I mean, you could do either, but you're selling high now because he's having a career year.
Yeah. It feels like if you can get a first, don't you have to?
I don't think it'd be a challenge at all to get a first. So you look at the rate that guys went for, and he's a rental. And shit, if you wanted to get really savvy, so you go to a contender and say, we'll eat $1 million on this thing. You can get him for 3.25.
Yeah.
Well, we need another pick. Now it's a first and a third and a prospect.
Let me ask you, and I brought him up before because I agree with you. I think if that's the path, it becomes very clear how you can do it. We joked earlier about it was not long ago that Dallas looked at Holtby and Hudobin as their goaltenders, and that changed in under a calendar year. It can happen so fast. What is your tact then? If you're going to youth movement, don't call it whatever the hell you want, but you're going to try and move out some guys, and you have to be really kind of savvy in who you're bringing back of these expiring contracts next year. Where does Elias Lindholm fit? Because it will be a long-term, high-dollar contract.
It's the elephant in the room is the coach back, because his comments were incredibly non-committal.
But again, it's going to be an 8-year. You would think he's going to want max.
Oh, he's getting max term. He's getting $8 to $9 million. We know the contract. The question is Elias here?
Is he going to look at an 8-year? I like the term, the dollar, everything's good, but this coach could be here for 14, 15 months. I'm out. I don't really. Do you think you would?
I just think players only get more leverage closer they get to UFA status. And I don't think Elias Lindholm's going to have a tough time finding suitors if he gets to July 1, 2024 and hasn't taken the money from the Flames. I think he'll get his.
I'm going to defend Daryl again in this instance because I don't think it was all Daryl that upset Lindholm. I think Lindholm losing his line mates played a huge role in his lack of production this year and probably lack of enjoyment during the season. He lost his 2 line mates for his top line in the NHL, has a kid, the team's not doing well. It was a bad year. So I don't think it was. I think there's probably less a focal point on Daryl than what we're imagining.
Well, and to your point, I wouldn't be surprised if he had issue with the way that Huberdeau and Kadri handled themselves this year. So what we're not asking is, does Daryl like Elias and does Elias like Daryl? What we're saying is Elias Lindholm, a number 1 center, and the only guy you can squint and imagine as a number 1 center in this entire organization, does he want to come back to this organization with this owner?
Okay, I'm just going to stop
this
you.
Team, this rank.
That's. I'm not up for what he wants. I'm saying if you're the Flames.
Oh, you offer him everything this summer, yeah.
So he's a part of you're okay keeping, because we're going younger, right? We're retooling. Who are you bringing back, and you're okay?
I mean, everyone has a number where it's like, that's too much, or it's like, yeah, we got to do that. So, I mean, he kind of slots that 8 to 9 million range, but again, we're asking what would a different organization, what would this team do? What would you want to see them do?
I'm asking what you would do.
Well, I think you have to have that conversation to see what he's worth in trade. Because again, this is a valuable piece at market rate, and weigh that against what that next contract looks like. And we don't know either of those things. We're just guessing. We know he's worth a lot, and we know he's going to be expensive.
I know that my answer from my two buddies here is that I'll be an idiot, but I'm not doing anything with Lindholm until I can figure out what I can do with Huberdeau and Kadri. Because I think that changes everything.
The realization you can't move those guys, then what?
Then it changes and you're right. I'm not saying, but before I get to Lindholm, honest to God, this would be my approach. And I actually, so two things. I don't think they should have signed Kadri because he's getting older, and I don't think he was the piece they needed. And I think he's, to be quite honest, more worried about Kadri than he is about his team. So I would love to get rid of Kadri. I don't know if anyone's out there that would take him. Is there? If you eat $1 million on Kadri, $2 million on Kadri, because I think
33 to 37.
Huh?
Coming off a bad year.
But
I don't think anyone
Pinder,
wants that term at that age, right?
But again, Pinder, you told us last summer, it's only a year in, that this was a highly desirable, and we were lucky to get him. And now you're saying at $5 million, no one wants.
No, I didn't say they're lucky to get him. What I said, he was a top free agent out there, but you know that on July 1, how these things go, the back half's going to be ugly. And so if the front half isn't looking good, why does a team want to get married to the back half of this thing?
If they're close, he is a center, and we forget how good he was at the start of the year. He was the leader of this team. And we'll see what happens. Every year,
I'm going to tell you right now, he's not the leader that we think he was.
No, I guess
they've swung and missed on guys who are on free agents.
He was the straw stirring the drink. All I'm saying is that player, he's a centerman who has a lot of years under his belt. He's won a cup for whatever you put in. At $5 million?
So it's not the money, it's the term. Always.
I understand.
So he turns 33 before the start of next season.
Tampa Bay gave up 5 picks for Tanner Jeannot.
Tanner Jeannot's not 32.
You do things when you're in your window to win. And like Brisebois said, we'll recoup picks down the road. We'll worry about that. We have a position to win now. If it's a similar situation where a team can add a centerman like Kadri.
I don't think there's ever been a 32-year-old move with 6 years left on a contract.
All I'm saying is I don't think it's crazy. I don't think it's okay. I think the Huberdeau one, man, I don't know. It's so much
just
money.
The way the con hasn't kicked in. and the way the money is structured, right? Like the Flames might have to pay all that upfront money and then just give them away for nothing.
I don't think there's ever been a hockey trade with that much term on someone that old that's been made.
Okay,
never mind the season.
Here's the thing. Then it doesn't matter because who cares? But then we should have been throwing our hands up in the air and refusing to buy season tickets last year if this guy's that bad.
Well, no. I mean, it's easy after a guy has the worst year he's had in a decade to see it, but no one saw it.
But then how?
Summer.
I don't get you. I don't get your take.
That's hot. You don't get my take. He's coming off maybe the worst year of his career compared to expectations. And you're wondering why teams wouldn't want him? You're going to have to show you can be that guy again before teams are going to want you. At age 33 next year, no one's going to buy 27-year-old Nazem Kadri. They want to see the 33-year-old Nazem Kadri that has been paid can look good in this league again. It's 33.
Boy,
like, when did you start?
Then you should be harder on Treliving for signing him.
Well, if you knew at the time that he was going to look like this, you'd hate it. But it's the worst we've seen him. Like if you knew a 115-point guy was going to have 55, of course you'd hate the fucking trade or the signing. The contract structure was always, but at least you were going to have 4 or 5 years of a star player. We didn't know these things were happening.
Yeah, but he's not. But he's not a good player because of coach. I thought he didn't like. I thought that was
a factor there. No one here has said anything's 100% Daryl's fault. And you keep trying to paint me with that brush, Rhett. Like I've said a billion times, there's blood on everyone's hands here, especially the players. And I haven't said it maybe loud enough, but I think there are guys that like Daryl a lot and that will play for Daryl. I also think Daryl is an issue with a few guys that are here and that happen to be the hardest contracts to move. This isn't me trying to scapegoat Daryl Sutter. You were the one that first jumped on it saying he's having a bad year. He's overcoaching. He won the Jack Adams. He's trying to prove to the world he's not this and he's not that. He's not going to rest on his laurels. But all of a sudden now when people are critiquing Daryl, it's like, it's not his fault. He's not all his fault. No one's saying it's all his fault. But you can't change everyone. You can't trade Huberdeau, Kadri, get rid of the GM and the coach. It just doesn't happen. No one wants those deals. A 33-year-old coming off career worst, where do I sign? No.
The Huberdeau, it is. I don't. You're going to have to just find a way to make that one as palatable as possible. I don't think he's getting 115 again.
That's all you can do.
How about 80?
God, 80 would
Can
feel
you
good.
get it? Can you get close to 80? Be a point a game
Why the
guy?
fuck do we believe Huberdeau can get to 80 and Kadri's going to be horse shit? What the fuck are you two saying? Like it's
Well, so
you
what do
can't
you think
speak both sides of your fucking mouth. They're either fucking came in and they can't fucking play anymore, or they're still capable. What are you saying?
So what happened to Jeff Skinner then? Brett, how did he find it again?
He found it again. So are you saying that's the point? And I said, go get fucking Jeff Skinner. And you could have had him for 4.5. And you looked at me like I had 7 heads. So are you telling me that Kadri's fucking done? Are you telling me Kadri and Huberdeau are done? Because if that's the case, we're in big trouble.
They're
so
not
are they done or not?
What I'm saying is the best chance of them not being done is getting them a new coach, because it looks like they quit on this guy. And that's not blaming Daryl. That's understanding you're stuck with these contracts if they don't start looking like they used to.
Covered a lot of ground there.
Lots.
So then you have to trade Lindholm, because you can't trade Kadri and Huberdeau. Then you have to trade Lindholm.
I mean, honestly,
what are you going to do? Go with the same fucking lineup for the next 8 years and have Lindholm get old with fucking 2 other guys that can't perform?
Like you were saying, and we've all agreed, if you have a long-term plan, it's probably also the time you have to sell Elias Lindholm. But knowing how this owner operates, they are going to kind of run it back, which, you know, depending on what week we talk to you, you're not interested in until January. And no, they're only a few saves away. Like, they're bringing it back. And if it really goes sideways, they'll sell them in season, and you're going to get a shitload.
Well, that's the nice thing about Lindholm and Backlund. You can trade both of those guys and get it. And that's what we keep saying. It's actually not, you know, John, we don't rebuild. Well, don't. You've got fucking valuable assets that you can trade and retool quickly.
Yeah, you don't have to take picks for these guys, or you can take a pick and then turn it into a player. Vancouver trades Bo Horvat. They get a first-rounder from the Islanders. They take that first-rounder. They go get Filip Hronek. You don't have to. It's like, oh, geez, now we got to wait 4 years for this pick. You can move a first the same day for a roster player.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't want to have to be patient, you can still. They're valuable assets, is for sure. Hanifin in his prime. Lindholm in his prime, right? Toffoli career year. Zadorov career year, and some veterans that can help you in Backlund and Tanev. Those are all marketable assets. Those are 6 free agents.
So what, for you, what do you think is, and a guy, when I was talking about Kadri, I was just talking about, could he be dealt? And we've seen deals where, you know, Phaneuf moves and one team keeps a chunk and then another. I just don't think
it's not a hockey deal.
I don't think it's as crazy to think that
you could just package them with assets and move them, but the notion of you're eating a part of the salary and you're not going to get anything helpful back. Like, do you want to move your first with them? Maybe you can move them that way.
So What's your
go down that
guess?
far? Sorry, I'm interrupting, Boom. But go down that far. If we're doing a retool, is that an option?
If you're doing a retool, don't give up.
Because you could, if you stop. Yes, you can. Because if you give away your first with Kadri, you're going to recoup that first when you get rid of Lindholm or Backlund.
I mean, I like more firsts if you're trying to get younger, but sure.
Yeah, well, for sure you do, but not if you're stuck with a guy for, like, if Kadri's miserable and doesn't want to be here and making a bunch of. Sorry, go ahead, Boom.
Right? No, I was going to say, if you're getting cap relief, you're not getting nothing. You're spending a first to get cap relief.
Yeah, for sure. And
not ideal, no question.
The best case scenario is he can reestablish himself as a number 2 center in the NHL, because he didn't look like that last year. And he still hit
all-star.
Like, 25 goals.
He was in the all-star game.
That's what I was going to ask.
By default.
So what do you think is, where's the over-under for you if you were betting on points for Nazem Kadri next season?
Well, what did he do this year? Because the points weren't bad. It was the work ethic and the give a fuck that killed you. I agree. It's not like he
56
what drove me nuts wasn't the lack of production. It was just like, how could you be that apathetic in a game season on the line game against Chicago? That's what drives you nuts.
Like if he's a 20 to 25,
he scored 24 this year. It wasn't a great year. Like he scored 30 multiple times in his career. But I just think if you're looking at goals, you've missed why he's disappointment. You say, oh, he must have been great this year. Everyone loved him, right? 24 goals.
No, but again, if this is the worst he's ever looked, I mean, that's
pretty bad.
24 goals?
No, the goals were bad. The give a fuck was bad. The quit, that was what was bad. That's why, like, it's not crazy to think that if he really has that much of a hate on for the coach, that, like, why couldn't he get over 30?
Well, and that's why I say,
but if you're the other team,
until he establishes that, then you can trade him. Yeah, if he can go back, score 30, and look like a great player, of course you can trade him.
It was a shit year, and he still had 24 goals and whatever. And yes, the body language, but I'm saying he's a centerman, and if you're a team that's close and you're getting a little bit of kickback on the cap hit, you'll worry about the remainder of the contract later.
I mean, I see the point you're making. I just don't think I've ever seen a 33-year-old with 6 years left move.
There have been a lot of bad deals that have moved. Teams have found a way.
I mean,
teams have found a way. I know what you're saying.
If you want to package first and move them, of course you can.
I don't think
if you could sell them in a year as a back to a number 2 center, now you can actually make a hockey trade.
Well, now let me ask you then, because if he gets back to a number 2 center, you don't want to friggin' trade him.
Well, I mean, again,
that's how that's going to go again.
Plan, right?
That's how it's going to go again. It's now guy's been awesome for us.
Let's say, hypothetical land.
Man, we had no problem with his work ethic. We had no problem with Nazem Kadri, the player, until the All-Star break.
Yeah, which was funny because he said if we play like a team, we'll get in.
And then after the All-Star break, we talked about it for years. It's too obvious for something not to have taken place.
Well, and it was around that time that we heard, Nazem Kadri is actually a really vocal member of this room in interactions with the coach. And again, I'm not blaming the coach. I'm blaming both of them, because it's clear that whatever happened between those two, it fucking sewered the season. Not the only thing. There's a shitload. The goalie could look like an NHL guy. That'd help for more than just a month and a half. But like that, he was said to be what about that group with Daryl? The guy that would confront him and talk to him. And we went from saying, like, this guy could be a captain to, like, I've never seen someone quit like this. Does that not reek of an incredibly horrid relationship between coach and player?
Which is fine. I don't think we're debating that, and we debate things for fun, and we don't get paid to make any kind of moves. But my thought is that if you're the other 31 teams in the league and you're watching and you are close, a top 5 or 10 team, and you can have, like, I never thought he had these kind of numbers. 56 points in 82 games, which maybe isn't even up to his standard, but it's certainly not far off a $5 to $7 million player, right? And if you can look at it and go, this Kadri guy, if we could get him out, if we could steal him out of Calgary, Because we believe once he gets out from under Darryl, he's absolutely going to revert back to being a number 2 centerman, and they're going to eat $2 million. Well, let's do this. I guess your point might be, well, it's not really a hockey trade. You're dumping, all you're doing is dumping salary. You're getting nothing in return.
But let's say, for whatever reason, let's say Mitch Love coaches this team and Nazem has the joie de vivre back and is like, wow, like great season, 25 goals, but was an emotional leader and did come up with some good play when you needed it. At that point, it's like, yeah, a half price or 3/4 price Nazem you can take to market. It's just, there's a lot of guys that GMs will look to buy low on. The last one they'll get to is the longest term, right? There's a lot of other sentiment like, oh, he's only got a couple of years left and I'll buy low on that. It's, of course, teams will think he's better than this, but they're just there's less risky deals to make out there. Like I'll go bet on a bounce back from Adam Henrique, who's only got a couple of years
left. Would he be attractive on July 1st? If there's a team in this mix and there's so much pressure in the NHL, is there a team on July 1st, if they could get Nazem Kadri at 6 years, $5 million per?
If you go half price, I think there's a market. I just think the cap's so tight.
I'm just saying, and again, who knows if they eat to whatever. But for this, just to push this one step further, and then we will move on. If you're a team that's close and you're a GM that's like, we need to win now, just because it's not what it is. But look at it in those terms. There'd be a six years remaining, and the cap hit instead of 7 is 5. To add that centerman to your team that's close.
I'm trying to think of a team because that's kind of the best way to measure how would it look.
Yeah.
You know what? You stopped and paused, and that's all I'm saying.
Oh, yeah.
It gives you
for sure. And I think that's all the more reason to think if you could get this guy aligned and working again, it's not a problem. But as long as it looks like he doesn't want to work, yeah.
It's time for the Pinder report.
Hasn't been enough of me.
Have you got enough? You got energy left? Go do some.
Can Rocky do the last 2 rounds?
No, you're in. Village Honda paying top dollar for your vehicle. They got $1 million to do it. Sell them your used vehicle. Get a tropical cruise for 2 and cash. Find out more at villagehonda.com. Village Honda presents the Pinder report.
Good news in the Flames organization. We'll start with it. So plentiful. It's like plucking apples off the tree in September, Dean.
Mm-hmm.
Dustin Wolf, we knew it was going to happen, and it did. His second consecutive Netminder of the Year award in the American Hockey League. That very good. Back to back for the Aldridge Baz Bastion Memorial Award winner. And yeah, that's a pretty good run his last 4 years, Rhett. That's goalie of the year in the AHL, his first and second season. And his last 2 years in the WHL, goalie of the year, and was also the CHL goaltender of the year and the USA Junior goaltender of the year prior to that. And lowest full season save percentage, junior through pro, 928.
Bring him up.
Go ahead.
And if he's 6'3",
I bet you could trade.
If
you throw Wolf in, you could trade Kadri.
Don't trade Wolf.
What could you get for him? Hey, Retro. God.
Wait till he wins a Vezina. Then
so many picks
on that cat. Don't sell now. Yeah. Don't be selling AHL MVP. You're going to love this too, Rhett, because it's not just that he's good at net. Here's the quote, courtesy Wes Gilbertson of Post Media. At the end of my career, you get to go home and see all the hardware in your shelves, but the hardware I want is right now a Calder Cup and a Stanley Cup eventually. They'll start next week. I believe Wednesday is when they'll open. Or is it Tuesday? Next week, they start at home waiting the play-in round in the Pacific Division. Do you like that quote, Retro? Trophies are cool, but I want the team one.
Absolutely. Love it. That's what you want guys to be about, for Christ's sakes.
It's robust times in Flamesland. Just a bumper crop coming in, right, Dean?
Yeah. I don't know how they're going to fit all these kids in.
Wipe out the last 40 minutes of the show. We'll move along to the NHL. We start in Carolina, where, we kind of gave some guys some heat at the draft. Now, do you remember when Stefan Noesen was selected at the draft?
Oh, you mean the
Nason,
our playoff
Noesen,
draft.
Yeah, the barn burner inaugural playoff draft. Right. And I believe it was the Gray Eagle team. Of course, we were hosted there, and we had some of our guys helping out the Gray Eagle guys, and took a little bit of heat from the drunks on the mic. Well, Loudmouth and Fat Boy didn't
That's
like
right.
the Stefan Noesen pick. Well, 2 goals in 2 games. And look at this beauty, Rhett. If you don't see natural goal scorer here on this tally, like how did we not have this guy penned in as a first rounder?
I'm going to say you won't see another goal like
flummox shot like that to get by him.
Oh, that's incredible.
So we take it back. Clearly an amazing pick, and we should have seen it coming.
For those that aren't watching, and you've seen it, Nason's just dumping the puck into the corner. Defenseman, Aho, tips it, and it somehow beats his own goalie.
No, we saw Aho score on Sorokin earlier in the series, but this is his teammate, Sebastian Aho.
Yeah.
But Hurricane Sebastian.
He didn't just tip it. He tipped it up into the air above, just inside the blue line. It's still
it's goal scorer's goal, Rhett. We take it back. Great pick. Overtime we go. Islanders trailed 2-0, led 3-2. Back to even terms came Carolina at home, and we needed extra time. 3rd overtime game of the year. Pretty good. 3 days in, right? We got the overtime winner for you. We'll watch that, and then we'll show you why there's a bit of an issue.
Mayfield is grabbing his face. He got hit with a high stick. Now it's Burns back in Carolina. Across for Jesper Fast. He scores! Game over! Jesper Fast.
I have a couple comments.
Well, Burns to Jesper Fast, the winner. I'll let you comment, and then we'll jump to what everyone's freaking out about on Long Island.
Sorokin is a sieve. First comment. Second comment. What the F is your captain doing on the back check?
Let's revisit. So play that again, Alex, if we can. Okay, so we're watching for, was it Anders Lee? Who's the captain there?
Yeah. There's Anders Lee. Where is he? Number 27, correct?
Going up the wall there?
Don't move your feet. Don't move your feet. Don't move your feet. Oh, I really dug in. Like, fuck, you could have. All you had to do is skate a couple strides, take away the pass, you dumbass.
He was watching for a bit there, Dino.
Yeah.
Pedestrian.
Yeah, he was kind of. Is he the one wearing the bubble right now? Is that Brock? Somebody's wearing that? I wonder if
Brock.
His vision wasn't.
You're looking for an excuse for him, Dean. That's very kind of you.
Yeah,
that's a shitty back check. And worse than the shitty back check, Rhett, might have been the worst, the missed call, as Scott Mayfield had a very legit high stick into his face right as the puck was turned over in neutral ice. That's Mr. Svechnikov, Jordan Martinook's stick, I believe, that gets right up in his grill. Play continues, winner goes. So instead of, an Islanders power play with a chance to soft the series coming home, it's you're down 2-0, missed call.
The debate, though, is that Mayfield lifts his stick.
It's not a debate. The rule book is clear.
And the stick goes into his face.
It doesn't matter.
Well, he didn't lift his stick at all, and it's no debate.
I mean, look, stick lift or not, you're in charge of your stick. That's the rules. It's written in black ink on white paper. There's no room for interpretation that if you lift a guy's stick, it's still high stick.
It's still Sorokin being a sieve because they shouldn't have scored the tying goal either. So
2-0 going back to Long Island. Let's hope UBS Arena, that $1 billion palace.
Should I go to that game? Should I go?
Why not? They'll be pumped up there, Rhett.
I'm going to be there.
I would like to get your the new rink.
Who's what? Frank the Tank will be out there.
Frank the Tank will be out there.
Remember the New Jersey Transit System?
That's right.
Incompetent. He'll be there. So maybe.
What's the percentage?
4.
Okay.
4%.
Because I could go to I could also go to the Rangers game on Saturday.
That's a better
at MSG.
Okay.
Or
percentage?
How far? Yeah.
6%.
6%.
And what about your odds of getting to Jersey tonight for the game 2? Devils, Rangers.
I refuse to go to Hoboken. I hate Hoboken.
0%.
Newark, 0%. Got it. Florida, Boston. That was the other early game last night. It was tied heading to the 3rd, and the Bruins picked a bad time for maybe their worst period of hockey in the entire NHL season. 4 from the Panthers, 1 into an empty net, and a late meaningless goal from the Bruins. 6-3 your final. We got a series going back to FLA. Got to be happy, Rhett. You're Panteros.
The big bad Bruins are wore out. They were too focused on that fancy best ever trophy, whatever, in the setting records. They're tired.
Yep.
They're sick. They're done. Panthers are rolling. Look out. Sam Bennett. Keller. Sam Bennett.
Heard it here first. Eggs. Bergeron, still lots of questions around his availability, how hurt he is. It's not just illness anymore. That's a big part of this team that got hurt in what was a feeling like a pretty meaningless game 82. And in case you think the Bruins are going to go meekly, Rhett, here's a little rewind to the last few minutes of play here. Oh, look at that. 3.7 seconds left. Still time to send messages, right?
Send a message.
Yes.
Doyle, this is going to be a long series.
Oh, there's Tyler Bertuzzi.
Sugar.
The Rat. Lamborghini. And just right over the tilter. Watch the middle of this one. There we go. I like how they keep the love song. Trent sprayed it when Mates went 3 seconds. Like, dude, just get the mitts.
If you get suspended if you fight mode. Can't do it. Okay. Well, that's not a fight. That's just
it's just roughing. Yeah. That's it on this.
Poor reffing right there. Poor reffing. They should have got with 1 minute and 44 seconds. They took forever to call a bunch of calls. The guys are chirping at each other. The refs should have dropped the puck and got them out of there. Dummies. Oh yeah.
You get out of here, you.
Refs are mad.
Everyone's been in every series, no matter where we're at. And I kind of think half of that's actually well-deserved. So we're tied heading back to Sunrise, Florida. Rhett, probability, percent chance you fly down to Florida and catch a game in the series.
Well, I've been asked to... aren't the Heat playing as well? So you're going to go... They asked me to come... throw the ball up at the Heat game and drop the puck at the Panthers game. So,
he has to throw the ball up.
Throw the ball up. Yeah.
Opening tip off. Yep.
Tippy. Yep. Percentage.
Heat and
Zero.
Bucks. So
0.
Oh, dear. That's a shame.
Well, I can't be in New York and Florida. Come on.
You're only one man.
But there's lots of percents left. I saw you were at 6.
We're at like 10% over 4.
4 that you could go to the island.
I guess it'd be more because the Panthers and Heat, that's 2 games there. We're
double up.
I'll give you one. I'll give you 100%. 100% I will be watching the Jays mop up the Yankees.
Is he going to be cheering for the Jays? Is that what I just heard?
No. But you know what? Maybe to start by about the 5th or 6th inning, he'll have his Yankee.
What's the move? Do you go jersey over top of the other team's T-shirt? How do you?
Well, I got to see how Vlad's playing before I.
Yeah. It's like a wrestling swerve. He'll turn on the shoveler and then put on. He's got a Jays jersey underneath. How could you do it? Oh my God! How could you do it?
My God! I see it coming. That'll be fun. And look, you're in New York. The Rangers game's got to be way higher than 6%.
Nope. Last time I went to a Rangers game, I sat there for 7 minutes and then I left and went and drank.
Who were you banging?
No,
6 minutes at a Rangers
game? That's when he was scouting.
Oh, scouting.
Hey, Rhett, we're going to send you to the game.
I was there for a wedding.
I caught the first 7 minutes. I think he's really good.
Okay, we'll move. Minnesota, Dallas. It's been a really good series last night. Not a close game, but certainly an entertaining one. Let's check in on old Rupe Hintz, who checked in with a Hattie last night. Pretty good player. Do you remember how they got him? We'll swap with Detroit. Jim Nill pulling the wool over his old buddy's eyes, Kenny Holland. Just a throw in.
For who? Rupe? Really?
Check out who drafted him.
All right. Tell me what to do.
The Stars fans, let him fly.
The old hat trick.
2015 draft, the second rounder, drafted by Dallas, but that pick came over to Detroit.
Oh, so he was
So throw in there.
Not really a throw in there.
I knew there was a tie to Detroit.
Take that back.
Do your homework, Pinder. Fuck. That one's 1-1 going back to Minnesota. A lot of the conversation, why didn't they just roll Philip Gustafson, who's been great? Yes, this is a future Hall of Famer, but Gustafson, 51 saves, and the only reason they got a win in Game 1 in overtime.
Why didn't you roll with your comment? It's not like any of us were going to double check it. Absolutely. Traded him from Detroit.
Care if I'm right, but yeah.
Gustafson. I'm glad they played Fleury. I wanted the Stars to win.
Okay, good. We got a series. And it will be Gustafson tomorrow. Don't worry about that. Don't think Fleury's 7 goals against average is going to get him.
Unless he's hurt. You know, Why wouldn't you start him? Goodness gracious.
Alternated him down the stretch.
Oh, my gosh. It's the playoffs.
Yeah. Dance with the one that got you there, Dean. Come on.
Come on, guys.
Come on, guys. Nightcap, LA, Edmonton. Some nervous times in Edmonton, not unlike game one, a roaring start, a euphoric building, and then a 2-goal lead blown. Unlike game one, they only blew 1 2-goal lead up QE2 last night, and 2-2 heading into the third. Tense until the real Clem Shady won the game with a horrible goal on Eunice Corpusalo. How about this for a post-game interview? Oilers fans are going to need a smoke after this one. They love this guy.
How is it to get a win in front of Oil Country?
First of all, I want to say I'm sorry for my English. My English is not really good, but you guys can't even imagine how proud I am to be in the team. And play for you guys, it's just amazing. Thank you so much.
God bless America.
That's it. He's done. See ya.
You know what? I know you like taking
the
shots.
lady done the interview. Just something happened. Twitching. She's so happy.
Yeah, I know. He was a good ad for them.
Yeah. I mean, you could do better with $750,000, or is that about as good as you can do? That's probably about as good as you can do for League Min. Not bad.
Pretty good.
Not bad. Maybe they could do the Curtis Glencross thing and take him for granted, and the Flames could scoop this guy, or what do you think?
Not a UFA. He likes playing there. He told you how excited he was.
Well, he's very excited. Yeah. Arb rights. We'll see how that one goes. 1-1 going to LA. Kings have to be happy with the split, but man, so close to really being in control here. Tied heading into the third.
I mean, at the same time, though,
outplayed most of the
Oilers have,
for sure.
And McDude hasn't done anything.
And that tying goal against Skinner.
Yeah.
A little soft.
Skinner.
Soft. So that was last night. Here's tonight. Another 4 games. Now the road teams, perfect 2 nights ago. Road teams all up 1-0 on the screen you're seeing. Tampa, Toronto, lots of storylines from there. A lot of questions about Victor Hedman. Did skate. Also did chat with the medical staff at morning skate. Lengthy chat at the bench with the doctors, who I don't know if Rhett trusts those doctors or not. Tampa doctors?
Game time
decision tonight, says John Cooper. Also on that front, Michael Bunting suspended 3 games for that dirty jump shoulder into the head where the puck was nowhere near him.
Yeah.
League doesn't think it's similar to the other hit, by the way. The Pavelski, no penalty. This one, 3 games.
So you're siding with the league?
They're so good and consistent, I have to side with the league. But it is funny, like coincidentals and 3 games. They were almost the exact same hit.
Yeah.
Like in terms of
head dog.
Wild. And the other games we showed you there. What are we thinking on the slate, fellas? I'd love New Jersey to get a win here. It feels like they're a little over their head, but just keep this series going longer. I think there's lots of drama yet to unfold. And Rhett's going to be in New York on the weekend. Like, get them down to MSG, please. Avs, we'll talk about you and the Betway Bets of the day coming up later. And can Connor Hellebuck and Rhett's Jets, who he picked, keep the good vibes going in Vegas tonight? Vegas looked like shit in game 1.
Yeah, they were not
17
good.
Shots.
This is always that test. We live in that's that 24-hour cycle. Oh, the Leafs sucked and the Vegas was no good. And then it's, or Boston, so good. Florida, not very good. Oh, that's how it works.
So
of these, so of the teams down 0-1, who has the best shots here at evening things up?
Yeah, or the flip side is, which underdog do you think can come home up 2-0? Like, which dog? And Tampa probably top that list the way they looked on, but Leafs have to be better.
I think Leafs win.
I think the Leafs will win, and I think the Rangers will win.
Rangers come home 2-0. That'd be big. You'd have to imagine the Avs show more than they did.
Yep.
Ditto Vegas, but again, keep squinting.
Rhett and I are in lockstep. I think it's Rangers, Leafs, Avs, Vegas.
All right, very good. We'll move to baseball.
Might be Jets.
What?
Lockstep, my
Rhett's
ass.
Jets.
Rhett's Jets. How about Rhett's Athletics?
Huh.
Moving to Vegas. This new baseball team. Been rumblings about this
If you're
for
from
years.
Oakland, it's the thing to do.
If you're a team from Oakland, it is the thing to do. So Raiders used to play in Oakland. Where are they?
Vegas.
Is it Vegas?
Yeah. And the Warriors used to play in Oakland, across the bay,
Vegas.
San Francisco.
Oh.
I don't know where the California Golden Seals eventually ended up. But yeah, everyone's leaving
Vegas.
Oakland. No sports teams left. The Athletics, they gone. They're apparently finalizing some land deals in Vegas. And the city's like, yeah, stop using us for leverage. We're not even pretending to make a building with you. See you later. 2027, they're hoping they can be in Sin City in Major League Baseball.
Let's go.
What do you do in Vegas? Remember, this is not winter. The season runs spring to fall. And tourism in Vegas is always a thing, but it's especially fall to spring. Like, not a lot of people are there July, August. I know you've done it a couple times, but it's hot as balls. Like, are you putting a roof on this thing? I don't know. You want open air if it's 115.
Retractable.
Retractable would be so great. So great.
It's a cost
you
of
almost
50,000 seat stadium.
I don't know,
seem
but
like
it'll pale in comparison to the value increase or franchise value increase of that team moving from Oakland to Vegas.
I'd agree with you. Yeah. Other baseball, we saw Scherzer got tossed, but staying with the A's. It's also been an awful year. They've played 19 games. Do we want to wager their record? Guess how many wins they've got?
2.
19 games.
10-8.
2 wins.
They are 3-16. Now, somebody's job is to tweet out the final score for the Oakland A's. And you're, it's social media. You got to be witty. Let's come up with something funny. People aren't looking for jokes when you're 3-16 and you just lost again. So here's the post. Pretending he's playing Uno. Post the final score graphic or draw 25 cards. Yeah, I'm fucking drawing the 25 cards. How good is that? That's how you do social media.
Yeah, that's good.
And the dads are getting better. The Padres are bringing back a guy that we maybe had forgotten he was gone. They got Machado. They spent a lot of money, messed around with free agents. Fernando Tatis Jr. is back, and we've got the mural in downtown San Diego to prove it. Yeah.
Yes. Juice it up.
It's tonight, baby. Forgot how good this guy was. Rockstar. Remember him and Acuna were just like, oh my God.
Dynamite.
That
he was fucking cheating.
What? Yeah, he definitely got caught with something in his system that he was not allowed to have. I don't. That may be cheating. That may be him eating street meat. Who knows?
Well, we saw what it did to you.
That's right. Put me in the toilet.
He hit homers. You hit the shitter.
Yeah. Calgary FC in action tonight on Vancouver Island. They play Pacific. It is a Canadian Championship game, so you win and move on.
Go.
And I would love to go. Yeah.
Why don't fly out there?
I'm about to leave you guys for a week. I don't want to take another day to miss. I'm sorry. And they'll actually play Pacific again in league play on Sunday. So they're going Thursday, Sunday. Just stay out there, win them both. Let's fucking go.
The look on your face.
What the fuck? I'm sorry, Rhett. We're going to have to force Boom to take some vacation. He's falling behind the pack here substantially.
He's like my old man. If he has to take vacation, he's grumpy. So let him just do his thing.
And Rhett, we teased it.
We're not grumpy. How do you know if I'm grumpy?
5 humans live in Rhett's rental property in Buffalo, but the shoveler saying there's other guests as well that might not be as welcome. This is a shot from Rhett's washroom. Let's take a look here. Earlier. Oh, how the fuck does the mouse get all the way up there?
You got no traps?
You got a palace in Calgary, and this is the dump you're renting in Buffalo?
What kind of a hovel are you living in?
Mouse
I'm a big rodent fan. I don't love the rodent. That looks like a pet. That's a pet rodent.
God, I remember you talk about living in a hovel. Maybe just married, long time ago. Anyway, the woman I live with, and had the baking sheet of French fries. Took them out of the oven, set on the kitchen. You know, get your chicken fingers, sitting and watching TV, and you hear ka-tink, 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 ka-tink.
Noise is that?
Somebody in the next unit over doing something. Ka-tink, ka-tink. No, it's friggin' mice tap dancing on the friggin' cookie sheet with French
wobbling on the
fries.
stovetop.
Oh my God.
Look at that cute little guy. What's his name? Right? You named him?
They're gross. I hate mice.
Blinky? What is that?
Gross.
You just grab him by the tail there and swing him around.
I ever tell you my dad caught caught one in the toaster?
No.
Oh, this isn't going to end
delicious.
What was the sense,
He actually he didn't use the toaster, but he grabbed the toaster. He saw it go into the toaster, so he grabbed it and dumped it in the carburetor.
Oh, wow. That's a plot twist there.
You're going to get him in trouble. Peter.
I was just trying to imagine what burning fur and smoking flesh was going to smell like.
Yeah,
and
who's making
a mouse and a carburetor?
Who's making toast the next day in that one?
Ugh. And you know there's some mouse bits still hanging out in the bottom of that carburetor too. They're not all getting flushed. There's some remnants.
Somehow, some way, every single day, the Pinder Report brought to you by the good people at Village Honda.
Such a good value.
I don't know why or how, but
unbelievable. Yeah, unbelievable value. Turn your vehicle into cash today during the $1 Million Buy-In event. They'll buy yours even if you don't buy theirs. Sellers receive a tropical cruise for two exclusively at Village Northwest Auto Mall, your dealership for life.
Name them, Rhett. You got to name your pets.
Yeah, I don't like mice either. But
again,
nothing,
the other day at my house.
Nothing worse than a snake shimmying up the toilet pipe and coming out.
You keep this has never happened. It's only a movie.
Happens. No,
it's just a movie.
Snakes don't. They're cold blooded. They can't be in a cold toilet sewer system. It makes zero sense.
Next time you see Aussie Sheila, ask her about the snake under her bed when she was a teenager.
Snake in her boot. Snake my boot. I just wanted to give a little bit of love to Mad Rose Pub today. If you're in,
God, it feels like we're due again. We were there last week, but I missed that pizza already.
But you know, because they were, of course, hooking us up with Flames experiences and that. There's no more Flame stuff, but I don't want you to forget about Mad Rose Pub. They're up in Royal Oak. 20 beers on tap, kid-friendly Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. 15 Royal Vista Place. And you're thinking, well, what's today? Today's a Thursday. I wonder what they're doing at Mad Rose on a Thursday, because every single day there's something. They have daily specials Monday through Friday, kind of like the lunch specials, and then every day they decide, well, okay, Tuesday, Wednesday, what do we need on a Thursday? And I grabbed a screenshot of what they do on a Thursday. If you needed any more incentive to get up or down or over, whatever geometrically speaking, whatever it is for you. But Matt and the folks up there, we were in there last week. It was like Cheers in there. Like, hey, guys, hey, Barbara, love the show, love the podcast. That's our spot.
Look at that.
That's Thursday.
Jeez.
25% off all pasta dishes and half-price bottles of wine.
Also, buck off featured glasses of wine, featured pints, and $9 2-ounce Kettle One.
Gabagoo.
With cucumber, mint, grapefruit, rose, peach, orange blossom.
Half-price wine.
I've ventured a few way through the 20 on tap, but I feel like got to collect them all. It's like Pokemon. I'm probably 5 in. I got to keep going.
I got some things I got to do here before we get out of here. We went on a bit of a rant.
Didn't see it coming either. There's no Flames news.
Didn't see it coming, and I kind of jumped in. I was going a completely different way, and then swerved. So maybe tomorrow I'll bring up what I was going to bring up today.
Okay.
Somehow I think it'll still be
relevant.
Keep it down,
Shoveler.
Like,
or is it
zero concern for others in life, eh?
I know.
Goodness gracious. Oh, I got the finger again. Gee.
Oh, jeez.
Wow. Shoveler.
Gray Eagle Resort and Casino, the event center. We talked about it before with is she coming in for a cameo? She's gonna lean in.
Now I got one for my kid.
Well, that's not gonna go as well.
The kid gave you a finger? Oh boy.
Oh, he's pretending he had an itchy face.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like it. You know what? Choke slam him through the kitchen table.
Yeah, he's
just pick him up and just right through. Gray Eagle, as I was saying, the event center. Lots of events going on there. It's starting here right away. It's never not stuff happening. Next Tuesday, Whitney Cummings, one of the best comedians going. She actually had a sitcom she was writing on a sitcom, then got her own sitcom. She continues to write for other people. She does her own stand-up. She is going to be there next Tuesday. And we've got tickets to give away. So be watching our social media, FlamesNation, on both Twitter and Instagram. There you see it. She is going to be You know what she's going to be doing? She's going to be tickling your ribs.
Oh, baby.
Give me those ribs. Hey, cute. She'll be just laughing. Tee-hee, ha-ha, with Whitney Cummings coming up.
She's funny.
She is funny. And then later in the week, and we'll talk about it next week, but the Hotel California, the Eagles tribute band is coming through. Go to their website and check out everything that's going on.
Our buddy Brian from Green Drop is going to be front row for that.
Hey, Brian. Brian.
I hope he's not front row. No one will be able to see anything.
That's true. He's
big,
tall
lanky bastard. Go and get tickets for all events at the event center at ticketmaster.ca. There you go.
If we have to, sure.
Yeah.
Bossing us around. But I do kind of want to. I miss comedy. Every time I go to comedy, I'm like, I don't do this now.
I don't do it
I still
enough,
wait for like 4 years. I'm like, why? Every time I do this, I say, do this more, dummy. And then I keep not doing it.
Yeah. It's just one of the many conversations you have with yourself.
Yeah.
Many.
It's usually about drafting goalies in the first round.
That's right. Yeah.
CHL's 19-year-old rule.
Yeah. Keeps you up at night.
Yeah.
I sent a message to Mike out at St. Eugene.
Oh, good.
Because we were talking after the show, and I
just missed a call from Cranbrook.
Is that right?
Maybe.
Unbelievable.
Maybe.
Because again, I sent a message to Rhett asking about, I want to do something. And still waiting to get to hear back from Rhett. But I know you're very excited about potentially getting out to St. Eugene, the golf resort casino, and having a time out there.
I'm gonna finally get my hole in one, and then I'm gonna get a nice massage at the spa, relax.
Oh my God, how sloppy would it get if he got a hole in one?
Yeah.
Jeez, they wouldn't welcome us back at all.
And then Royal Flush.
Oh yeah,
a Royal Flushy in the old casino.
Oh, if you're on a heater like that,
yeah. You coming alone, or you bringing the significant one?
No, I don't. Single.
2 seats. But
2 seats,
you.
one person.
You going. Championship Golf Course out in Cranbrook, steugene.ca. We keep talking about it, but it's coming up. Details on something St. Eugene. Very St. Eugene coming up. On Instagram and Twitter at St. Eugene Resort. They have the spring swing golf package on sale. $259. You and a friend enjoy a night stay and a round of golf, including the power cart. Chop.
Yeah, get going on this, fellas.
They're not sitting there and rejecting other people calling in for you to finally get a hold of them and book your week.
They're not holding off summer longer. It's coming. This is the spring deal.
Didn't you say it's snowing there today? Like,
don't
be dumb. Head out.
Don't be
west.
stupid. Come on. St. Eugene Golf Resort and Casino. Happy to have them on board with Barn Burner.
Love it.
Getting out there. The Betway Bets, you kind of teed up your loving on the Avs. First thing when I went, so who's bouncing back?
Yeah.
Who lost game one and we're feeling like, oh, they're in trouble. And tomorrow you come in, it's like, yeah, they're not in trouble. They just weren't good in game one. They're actually still very good.
It's a best of 7, and they're going to win it in 5 or 6. Yeah.
Because as you said, these are the higher seeded teams looking to rebound tonight.
Dogs are all up 1-0. There's going to be some favorites winning tonight. We just got to figure out who they are.
Got to figure it out.
Got
to figure it out. And do it with your Betway app. Betway Bets of the Day. Get the Betway app on your phone. Play along. Be responsible. And enjoy yourself. So I got a couple here. I wish I'd had the conversation with Rhett about Rhett's Jets earlier. I said to you, it's Winnipeg has good value going into Vegas tonight. Vegas is loving Vegas, oddly enough. Yeah. Scheifele and Marchessault to each get a point, plus 200.
What?
And I did not like what I saw out of the New Jersey Devils.
I didn't either.
I think Shesterkin v. Vanacek is a decided advantage. And the Rangers, despite being up in the series, are still plus money. Plus 110 for a Rangers win in New Jersey. I'll take the Rangers.
I might have to tell you on that. They look good. A little bit of stage fright for the Devils. Does that go away after one throttling? I don't know.
Because I was a couple power play goals, right? Kreider, those were on the power play, but still the one goal they scored was on a penalty shot on Shesterkin. So, yeah, give me the Rangers.
Yeah, and Colorado left a lot more to be desired. I know they're defending champs, and I'm kind of the mind that they know how to flip the switch because we have seen them flip the switch, and that maybe it just was a bit of a lackluster effort. Tip your cap, Seattle. And hey, I mean, Played well in the regular season. My bet's focusing in on the Avs getting back on track, baby. I'm going to take a regulation win and over 5.5 goals. Ooh. And I loved the bet 2 days ago. They weren't good. I still love it today because he's still Cale Makar. All hail Cale, 2 points, pays plus 187. Go get it.
There you go.
I'm worried about this Seattle team.
I tell you what, if they go home up 2-0, there's legit reason to be concerned about the Seattle team. Because that crowd, I think, is going to show us something. First ever playoff game there.
Yeah. Hippies will be wound up.
What were they got? What?
I said I haven't followed the Seattle team very much this year, and they got 100 points or plus in the season, and I give them zero credit for being any good, and yet here they are doing good things. So
I think you're just like everyone else here. They got off to the good start, and other teams in the division were struggling. Everyone was just like, oh, I guess Seattle's getting in, and then no one paid attention the last half of the year, and they're kind of okay, not bad, not great, but here they are. That's a second-year expansion team, up 1 on the defending champs.
This one kind of feels like, oh, it's the Avs are still the Avs tonight.
That's where my bets are.
With you.
I mean, jinxie pants on, but that's what you'd want to see if you're got the bets I got.
That's it for today. I think we've done all we can do today.
I'm exhausted.
Yeah. We'll have another one tomorrow.
It's too much today.
4:20 today, Rhett.
That's right.
Oh, thank God. I'm glad I'm done. Glad I'm done. I can spark up the bong again.
Is that legal in New York? Or we don't want to get you any trouble, but
is that what you do?
Spark the bong.
Every morning.
Honey,
yeah.
Put the kids to bed. It's time to spark up the bong.
Kids, come get a hoot before bed.
That's it, everybody. Friday edition coming up on Friday. Weird how that works.
Oilers suck. Oilers suck.
T-shirt.
See you, buddies.